Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And today, we're going to be looking at a Disney villain that is near and dear to my heart, one of my favorites in the whole Disney franchise, the sorcerer and the advisor to the Sultan of Agrabah, Jafar. Jafar is a magic user that has quite a bit of power and uses it to control those around him, manipulating and pulling the strings behind the scenes. Now, one thing I need to make clear, I am not talking about Jafar post genie transformations, because he becomes a genie, and before that, he becomes a much more potent sorcerer outside of his own means. You could spin this to mean that he just gains a whole bunch of levels and a whole bunch of spells, but I'm talking about Jafar before that, before he was supremely powerful and able to take over Agrabah on his own. What does this Jafar look like? Well, let's have a look. Jafar is about 50 years old. He is about 6'6", very tall, 160 pounds, with tan skin, black eyes, and black hair. He has a background of sage as a well-educated magic user, and I actually made him a high elf. That tall stature and that superior concept in his personality certainly fits, and he is lawful evil to no one's surprise. But here's what actually might surprise you. I don't think Jafar is a sorcerer. They call him a sorcerer in the movie, but in the words of D&D, a sorcerer is someone who has natural magic powers. I think Jafar is a wizard, specifically an enchantment wizard, since most of his magic focuses on controlling and manipulating others, which is exactly what an enchantment wizard would do. He is actually decently strong with a strength of 14, dexterity of 12, constitution of 14, reasonably hardy. His intelligence is high. 20 does not really surprise anyone because he is very, very well educated and knows a lot about the surrounding world as well as everything about Agrabah. He also has a wisdom of 18. His schemes are very well made and he usually comes out on top. And his charisma is 18, able to not just use his magic, but also just his regular wits to charm almost anyone he needs to. He has proficiency in Constitution, Intelligence, and Wisdom saves, thanks to a feat he has, and he is proficient in Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, and Perception. He speaks several languages: Common, Elvish, Thieves' Cant, Primordial, and Deep Speech, touching into all the magics from across the different planes. He is not proficient in any armor, can only wield simple weapons, and is not proficient in any tools either. He doesn't wear armor, really. He has an armor class of 11, a speed of 30, and hit points of 56. He can see in the dark with dark vision because of his high elf background. His fey ancestry gives him resistance to counter charm, and his trance means he doesn't have to technically sleep, he just meditates. He has the researcher feat from his sage background, able to gather information as he needs to. And he has the arcane recovery feature, giving him some more spells to work with. His enchantment wizard gives him the hypnotic gaze power, able to stun people with his hypnotic powers. He also has instinctive charm, giving him a very, very good buff to his enchantments. He has a couple feats as well: the spell sniper feat, able to use his magic at good distance, and the resilient constitution feat, since he does not lose focus often. But what kind of spells does he have? I say he's a level 9 wizard, giving him access to 5th level spells. His cantrips are Chill Touch, Firebolt, the Light Spell, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, and Poison Spray, a good smattering of both offensive and utility abilities. He has a lot of level 1 spells at his disposal, including Charm Person, Chromatic Orb, Disguise Self, Find Familiar, Fog Cloud, Identify, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, and Shield. Again, a very good selection, and a lot of things we see him use in the movies, such as Charm Person, Disguise Self, and Find Familiar with his bird, Iago. Then his second level spells: Alter Self, if the disguises don't necessarily work, the Darkness spell, the Hold Person spell, Invisibility, Misty Step, and Locate Object. These are spells that you could easily see as he goes through stealthy parts of the movie, or when he outwits and outmaneuvers people, he's using magic to help him do it. Level 3 spells, he can use Hypnotic Pattern and Lightning Bolt. Level 4 spells, he can use Wall of Fire and Polymorph to transform himself even further. And then finally, at level 5, he can use Scrying, Wall of Stone, and Dominate Person. These are all spells that make sense for Jafar. And then one magic item that he carries with him at all times. One that I improvised here, the Staff of the Cobra. The Staff of the Cobra gives him the ability to, pretty much at will, cast a Suggestion spell. Keep in mind, Suggestion does not always work. People have a saving throw to resist it, but he can just cast it over and over. And for weak-willed people, he just says a sentence or two, and they just believe that it's the best course of action. As long as he can concentrate on his magic, they maintain this opinion and act upon it as if it was their own idea. We see this with the Sultan over and over, and it's fair to assume that the guards are under the same kind of magic. This is a powerful item that he uses quite frequently. So that's Jafar, and I think that he, as a villain, is not all-powerful, but he doesn't need to be. In an urban environment like Agrabah, with the abilities to see all the guards and to have access to the Sultan and use his magic, he certainly is a powerful force that manipulates his way to the top. And it's only once he gets the genie in his hands that he becomes the all-powerful sorcerer. He is a very clear example of how you do not need power to win. You just need to be able to trick people into giving you that power. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more character creations coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.